You should have received an email now asking you to accept if you would still want to continue your application to study in a university here in Norway.
Living life every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray.
Many thanks to those of you that took out time to fill the forms I sent in my last update on how this whole tuition fee moves here in Norway has impacted you. I was able to compile the forms on Wednesday, and then I printed it out, and then I sent a copy to the post office, and I sent a copy also by email. When I received an email telling me the document has been received and the necessary action will be taken if it's read. So yeah, we can still keep our hopes up. I don't know where the hope is left. I don't want to give up on this fight, but then Norwegian University of Life Sciences has also come up with the tuition fee schedule for 2023 academic year, and it's not far from all what we projected or what University of Stavanger came out with. That was like last week. It's not far from that figure, but then it's now course based, so now different courses and how much they are to be, and it's slightly lower for some courses like the University of Stavanger brought out. Those are going to be studying landscape architecture for global sustainability at to pay 225,000 Norwegian kroners. Those going to study agroecology, animal science, and aquaculture are going to pay 150,000. And those going to study applied economics and sustainability and international relations, you're going to pay 125,000. If I'm not mentioning the courses or all the courses, you just see it on my screen. You're going to pay 125,000. And for those going to study BSc in International Environment and Development Studies, they are to pay 80,000 kroners. And from the last figure I brought from University of Stavanger, some people were asking me if it was fees for every semester or fees for the year. This is fees for the whole year. So for the whole academic year, that's just 2 semesters in 1 year. So the whole academic year, this is the amount you're going to pay. The universities have sent forms out to those of you that have applied to their schools to ask if you still want to continue with the whole admission process, because the whole admission process moves from one stage to the other. So they want to use those tuition fees as a cutoff point, the first cutoff point, to see if those of you that are ready to continue to the next stage. The emails you've received includes this. You have the figures, the school fees for every courses, and then you would have a form that you're supposed to download. It's not automatic that you reply the email or anything. I think the email you're not even supposed to reply. You just have to download the forms that has been sent. It has been attached in your email. When you download it, you can either print it out and then fill, so you have to check the boxes because it's an attachment. You have to check the boxes, or you can use the PDF tools that just make you draw like marks. You can just tick that yes, it's 3 questions you're supposed to accept, or it's 3 terms you're supposed to accept. And then when you've checked the box, you're to save it on your PC. It depends on how you want to check the box. So if you print it out and you check the box, you are supposed to upload it to your device and submit it on Student Web. That is where you filled in your whole application and where you uploaded all your results and your documents and everything. You have to fill it there. So now this is a part of your application. So if you check the box online, it's the same thing. You just upload the document to your Student Web. Some of you I know have applied to so many schools. You have to do this individually for every school in your student portal. So just take note of that. And so in that, the first thing is for you to say yes, you've accepted to so you wish to continue with the application process. That's the first thing you're supposed to check. And the second thing is to accept that you you've seen the mandatory figures already, because that was what they sent in the mail. You've seen it and then you've accepted that yes, you would pay. But then you accepting to continue with this, you would have a deadline to send your school fees to the school. So it's just like the deadline. I think when your whole application comes, you would have a deadline when you're supposed to send your living expenses. So that is the same thing now. You would have a deadline to pay your school fees, and that deadline is on the 15th of May. So the deadline for you to send the fees to the school is on the 15th of May. So you're supposed to accept that you accept that yes, you've seen the whole figures, and then you would be sending the money by the 15th of May if you get a study place. So it is still conditioned on you passing through the whole admission process. So you accepting that you're going to pay school fees does not 100% mean that you would get a study place. They will still have to go through the other cut-off points and then see if you still qualify to be granted admission to the school. So that's the second thing you're supposed to accept. And then the third thing you're supposed to accept is that you understand that this whole tuition fee thing will be added to the Norwegian Directorate of Immigration, or Norwegian Immigration Directorate. It's UDI, we know. So you have to accept that this amount of money is part of UDI's process. Let's do the calculation. You're supposed to document 128,877 Norwegian kroners. That's 128,877 Norwegian kroners. I don't know if I'm getting the figures right, but I know there are plenty 8s in it. So you're supposed to document that plus the tuition fees. If you're choosing economics, you have to pay 125,000 kroners. Is what you're supposed to document to UDI when you are applying for your visa. Documenting this to UDI means that is the total money you have to send to the school's account if you're not residing in Norway. That is the total amount of money you're supposed to send to the school's account. If you're here to watch my video on the breakdown of this whole living expenses, you can check it up here. So that will show you how much you're supposed to document to UDI for this academic year. So that plus the tuition fees for the respective course you've applied for and you're going for, that's the amount of money you are to document to UDI. The other question would be, those of you that have applied to different universities, are you supposed to pay all this whole money to all the universities? The answer is you should have made up your mind or the school you would want to go to before this deadline. So when the admission comes and you've gotten like 3 different schools, you would have to weigh everything and choose the one you would want to go to. Then you just need to pay fees for one university and then just cancel the other application. Do it fast so the others that are waiting on the list will be able to get a study place. So you can do that, make your choice, and then that's the school you are to send them living expenses money into their account. You should be very careful when this whole money thing comes so that your money doesn't go into a different account which the school does not know about, because that would be a huge problem. And let me just put forward this disclaimer. I do not have any Facebook group that is communicated with international students coming. So if you have anyone, or if anyone has posted to say that this is my Facebook group for international students coming to study in Norway this year, it is not me. The only thing I have is my Facebook account where you can message me, that is Amma Oslo, or my Instagram account. You can DM me there, Amma Oslo, and I'm also on TikTok on Amma Oslo, or you can email me. Those 4 channels. I do not have any WhatsApp number. I do not have any WhatsApp group chat. I do not have any Facebook group chat, so that nobody will fraud you, because now money is difficult to come by. Please just be careful when this whole process comes by. Be careful in how you would send the money to the school. You just have to send the money to one account. That's the school you have chosen to go to. And if you send the money and you've gotten a study place in a different country and you do not need to come back to Norway, the school will facilitate how you would retrieve your money back. Just that some amount of money might be lost in charges, but then you get your money back easily. But then we are still hoping for a miracle before this May 15th. We've sent all our appeal. Like, the messages you guys wrote were so touching, and some of them I was not even thinking that, oh, this is what people have to go through to maybe come and study in Norway for free. And now plus tuition fees, like, that's a whole lot. And I do hope that the minister reads it, because I addressed it directly to him and I stated that, like, it was to him. So I do hope he takes time to read it. It was a lot of messages you guys wrote, and I really appreciate that. Like, you took your time to just pour out your heart, to just tell us how you're feeling, and it's been a whole hustle. This is the information I have for you. You can just send me a message and let me know what's going on in other universities. And thanks to both of you that share with me this development concerning your admission process, and I really appreciate it. Let me know what's going on in the other schools you've applied to, the new developments, what your school is saying. It would be nice to share it with every one of you. Thank you so much for joining me again in this video, and thanks for your support so far on my channel. If you're yet to subscribe, this is the best time to do so, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.
Living life, every day, late at night, not okay. All I want, and I pray, all I need are some better days. Fuck me, I'm looking in the mirror, so foggy, but I've never seen clearer. I don't really think anyone can save me, and honestly I'm not really sure I want saving. I like to be my own worst enemy. There's no risk if you don't